Contamination gets into groundwater when tanks or waste lagoons leak, or when contaminants are dumped onto the ground or into pipes that lead to groundwater. Contaminated groundwater may enter the river directly via discharge up through sediment on the river bottom or seeping out from the banks. Groundwater may also infiltrate into stormwater pipes, ditches, or creeks that discharge to the river. Under the properties around Portland Harbor, DEQ identified all the plumes of groundwater that could be contaminated. Plumes that need further investigation or controls to prevent contaminated groundwater from getting to the river are shown here in maroon. One plume we're actively working on is here at the Gasco site on the west side of the river, right near the St. John's Bridge. The Portland Gas and Coke Company operated a manufactured gas plant here from 1913 to 1956. The process converted petroleum oils to gas, which was used for heating and lighting in Portland, but it resulted in contaminated soils and groundwater at the site. Primary contaminants in the groundwater are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, or PAHs, metals, and cyanide. Northwest Natural has been working on cleanup with DEQ since the mid-1990s, paying to investigate soil, groundwater, and stormwater, design and implement cleanup actions, and for DEQ to oversee the work. They recently completed installation of a line of groundwater wells along the riverfront to keep groundwater levels lower than the river, which prevents contaminated groundwater from getting into the river. Intercepted groundwater is pumped out and treated to remove contaminants, and then the clean water is discharged into the river.
Portland Harbor has been a thriving industrial area for over 100 years. Unfortunately, many of the environmental practices weren't as sound as they are today, and as a result, we have a lot of legacy pollution to clean up.
My name's Dana Bayou. I'm a project manager with the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality. I've been working with Northwest Natural for many years now on a project that's intended to prevent groundwater from migrating to the river.
Once we identified the groundwater contamination, we realized that it was reaching the river, and that was unacceptable. And so Northwest Natural and DEQ decided we needed to do something about it quickly. There are 23 pumping wells installed along the riverbank at the Gasco shoreline, and those pump the water that would normally reach the river out of the ground and prevent it from reaching the river. We have to pump on average about 250 gallons a minute. That's enough water to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool every 2 days.
The groundwater itself exceeds concentrations that have been found to be a problem for the river aquatic life and animals that live in sediments.
We are proud to be one of the first parties in Portland Harbor to have constructed source control. We couldn't have done this without our partnership with DEQ.
Before EPA can clean up the contaminated sediment at the bottom of the river, DEQ must complete our work to make sure the sites along the river are cleaned up. We like to think of it as the land cleanup before the river cleanup.